I got 2 packages of wings, and both of them have 16 wings in them. So I'm about to do 32 wings, 32 whole wings at one time. I'm excited, man. All right, it's time to get out here and get the grill set up. We're gonna set it up for direct cooking, so let's fill this chimney and get it lit. That's gonna take about 15 minutes to get ready. So that gives me time to get back in here and start getting my wings ready to go on the grill. Now first I gotta take my lemon pepper wings out of the lemon juice marinade and get them dried off. Then I'm gonna oil them and season them again with lemon pepper seasoning. Same thing with the other wings. I gotta get them dried up, toss them in some oil, and then I got another seasoning that I'm gonna be putting on those. So let's get all that done so we be ready to go when the fire's ready to go.
Is it on?
Yep. And I'm gonna leave it in there too.
Yeah, let me see it.
Nope, I'm gonna leave it on. All right, this is the telltale sign when you're using a charcoal chimney that your coals are ready. You're looking for the smoke to stop and flames to start coming out of the top. Now, for those of you that are not as experienced or haven't been around these grills very long, you may be looking at black charcoal and say, well, everything's not ashed over yet. It doesn't really have to be for these charcoal chimneys, because if you look down here, everything is white hot. So really, if you wait for all of these charcoals at the top, all of these briquettes to ash over at the top, all of this will be just about gone by then. So what you need to understand is that this is very, very hot, and as soon as I flip this over into that charcoal, into the grill, everything's gonna be good to go, and within a matter of minutes after I put that lid on, all of these will be ashed over or almost completely ashed over. So let's get it happening. When you're cooking directly over the charcoal, you want one single layer spread out as evenly as possible. And what I want to do now is get all of this on one single level, on one single layer, and spread out as evenly as possible, since I'm going to be covering the entire grate with my wings. You have to be very careful by doing this You need some long tongs or something, or charcoal mover or something like that. But this is going to be very hot as you're reaching in here, so you reach around from the edges and just kind of move them around until you get them as even as possible. And all your charcoal is on one layer. And this thing is putting out a lot of heat, man. I got you zoomed in right now so I can keep my phone further away. It will overheat. But this is what we're looking for. Look how much of them, even in that couple of minutes, have completely ashed over. I'm just gonna move a few more of them. So now we put the grill grate on. I have soaked this paper towel down with some oil, and we're just gonna rub the grates with it. I'm gonna start out with all my vents wide open. Bottom vent and the top vent. Let me show you what the temperature gauge on the lid is showing right now. But keep in mind that that temperature gauge is always going to be hotter, sometimes by as much as about 50 degrees, than the temperature on the actual cooking grate. So if you look at this right now, this is showing 500 degrees basically. We don't want them that hot cooking directly over the coals. Now if I was cooking indirect like I usually cook wings, it'd be no problem. I'd be putting them on. But because it's reading that hot and it's still kind of climbing, I'm going to knock my bottom vent down just a little bit and the top vent and see if we can't get it somewhere under 400. 350 to 400 is where I would like to be when I'm cooking directly over the coals. Knock out some ash right here, and then we'll put that right about there. It should be about halfway. And then I'm just going to knock this down a little bit as well. Let's give that about another 10 minutes to settle in. Checking the lid thermometer, my temperature is now just under 500, which means at the grates we're looking at about 450. So it's safe to put them on right now. So let's do it. Move pretty quick, y'all, and I'm gonna need to really pack these in. Wings, and we still got room to move things around a little bit. We ain't even crowded. So what I want to do now is go in here and get my seasonings again now that I got these on the grill, and just hit them one more time so we got real good coating. First let's hit my lemon pepper. That's more like it. Want these babies coated real good. And now my honey garlic. Get some seasoning on these babies. So now that I got this grill loaded completely all the way across the grill grate with wings, that's gonna make the heat act a little bit different. You know, that's that's going to put an obstacle between those coals and that thermometer. So I'm expecting it to read a little less. So already what I'm going to do is just open that bottom vent right back up. Right back to wide open. And if you look here, it's at 300. So we're looking for this to get right back up to about 350 or even 400. So not only am I going to open up that bottom vent, I'm going to open up this top vent as well. We should see that starting to climb again. So we'll keep checking back. So back out here at the grill, my temperature is still reading a little bit low, but before I make any changes, let's take a look at what the wings are doing, and we'll make a decision from there. Let's see how my lemon pepper side is doing. Doesn't seem to be getting as nearly as hot on my lemon pepper side as it is on the other side. You don't see any of those ashing over yet. I mean, you don't see any of those getting charred up yet, except right there along the edge. I'll tell you what I think is happening here, man. You know, I had some, I always reuse charcoal in my cooks. And I had some used charcoal, partially used charcoal in the chimney with the regular charcoal, and I think that's why I'm getting slightly lower temperatures. Because my coal bed is definitely thinning out, man. I can see it through the chicken. So what's happening here is my coals are almost spent because I used some charcoal from a previous cook. So what I'm going to do to fix this now, you know, I told you earlier that you want a single layer because the more layers you have, the hotter your fuel is going to run. So I'm actually going to intentionally make that happen right now by pushing all my coals to one side, which is going to generate more heat. See what's happening right there? So we should see these things get done. They're already done. A lot of them are already done, and I'm just wanting more color. But that's going to do it right there, man. You can see that right there on that side, we got a nice hot zone. So I'm just going to concentrate all my chicken on that side until I get it where I want to. Like I said, most of it is almost always already there, very close. It's a matter of preference, really. All it needs to be is at least 165. Most people like their wings at 175 or above. I'm really just looking for color. So I'm just gonna keep spinning, I'm just gonna keep flipping these over this hot zone right here until they all look the way I want them to look. I'm just gonna stand here with my pan and move things around and flip things back and forth until I get them all like I want them. If I flip these over, because it's so white on the bottom, I flip these over. I got fire on my coals now, so ain't no half stepping. These wings gonna have to get right whether they want to or not at this point. I just want a little color under the bottom, but these things are done. Get these last two off and we done, man.